Good morning, this is Vicky.
And this is Jo.
And we're the Two Natural Ladies.
And we talk about the good news we all need and ways of getting the most out of life.
We help people with practical, uplifting ways we can all make a difference.
And we're striving for better, not perfect.
And we love a good laugh. Please enjoy the show.
You're listening to the Two Natural Ladies, and we have a special guest on the line. We have Petra. Hi, Petra. Welcome.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me on board.
Yeah, welcome. So I'll just do a little bit of an introduction. So Petra's from PH Celebrants and is a Commonwealth registered marriage celebrant, and she creates beautiful ceremonies for happy and sad occasions, and adventure ceremonies are her dream, and she can create your special days. It's like that photo that we posted. I actually want to hear all about the adventure ceremony.
Well, yes, exactly.
Yes.
So what? Let's start with that. What is an adventure ceremony for you?
Okay, well, an adventure ceremony is something a little bit different. So weddings in the air, on the snow, on the beach, on the sea, or in a winery, a destination ceremony. Of course, I can do the registry office ceremonies and the back garden ceremonies as well, but something a little bit different. You know, up in a hot air balloon, or at the moment I've got a beautiful ceremony that I'm promoting, which is weddings on the snow, and I've tied in with Falls Creek Hotel. So, you know, doing something a little bit different.
Yeah, lovely. And what inspired you to become a celebrant? It sounds inspirational as it is.
Well, my path to celebrancy is an unusual one. I was asked to create and conduct a memorial ceremony for a dear friend on Badara Island in Queensland. Through this beautiful ceremony, I realised that I was interested in destination ceremonies, and this started me on my journey, and I haven't looked back.
Yeah, I like the idea of destination ceremonies. You could end up anywhere, well, not at the moment, but at least, you know, the number of places that would be very exciting.
Absolutely. Well, I'm a mad travel fiend, and I've lived in many destinations around the world, specifically the Caribbean islands and the Middle East. But I can basically do ceremonies anywhere around Australia. That's what a Commonwealth registered marriage celebrant is all about.
So do you ever do anything other than you know, weddings and funerals? Like, are there special ceremonies that people ask you to do?
Well, there are something called living ceremonies, which I'm really working on at the moment. And this is as more and more families have members affected by Alzheimer's or dementia. It is important to document and share the lives of the affected whilst they can still recall it. And it is a way for them to take back control in celebrating their lives while still alive. They say everyone has a book in them, and wouldn't it be lovely to hear a chapter of theirs? So my mother passed away from dementia, so I think being able to document things and help people cut a cake, have a little ceremony, and tell a little bit about people's lives whilst they still can, I think that's very special.
It sounds like, do you remember that show, This Is Your Life?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. We did that.
Eamon Andrews in the UK.
Do people record it and, you know, you'd have a little book that you give to them? Yeah?
Correct.
Wow.
You can put up some photos if you have some photos that you're able to pull, make a little film, a show reel of pictures. And it's a lovely way for someone to actually be at their own
That's right, because
and sharing it, and it can be a really happy occasion rather than a sad, and I think that's really lovely and upbeat.
I love that because my mum passed away about 10 years ago, and she wanted a party, and I was not in the mood for a party, and I really wanted her I really wanted her there. You know, like we had all her friends in the backyard, and she was missing, and it was just the most bizarre feeling. And I would have loved to do that because I think also that would help people if you've already done that, when the person does pass away, that's already there, and then you can just review and celebrate and remember the fun time you had with them.
Well, and there's also the acknowledgement, you know, like so often people say that at their funeral is where people really acknowledge them and they don't get to hear it. And so it's an opportunity to really acknowledge the people while they're there and hear those stories. And because that's the other thing. I've been to funerals and gone, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. And then you could ask questions of the person because they're still there rather than go, oh, I wish I knew this.
That's right. I actually, my husband was saying exactly that last night about his uncle. He said, I had no idea. And that is exactly like you want your uncle there to talk to.
I mean, when I'm writing a eulogy and I'm sitting with families at an initial interview and you're hearing all about this wonderful person and such a full life, and even someone that you think hasn't had much of a life, they actually have. There's always been something that you can pull out of their history. And it's just wonderful to be able to offer something different to families whilst people are still around and be able to have them in a joyous occasion.
Yes.
You know, a little bit of fun, and it can be in a care home, in a back garden, in your home, obviously COVID permitting. So it really can be done how they would like it to be done, where they would like it to be done, and have a little cake afterwards, you know? Why not?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or a lot of cake.
Especially if it's chocolate.
That's right. So is it competitive, the industry?
It is. It is a competitive industry. There are a lot of people doing similar type ceremonies, and I suppose that's why, because of my background and my, you know, thirst for travel and thirst for a point of difference, you know, I'm offering something a little bit different with adventure ceremonies and life ceremonies and doing weddings in different areas, in different ways. I do yacht racing at the weekend, and I even talked to my skipper recently and said, oh, can we do a wedding on your boat? And he said, oh, happy to. You know?
Wow.
So it's nice to be able to offer couples something a little bit different. So as they create a long-lasting memory, that makes them a little bit different to the next person.
Yes.
And I think younger people these days want something different, and also people that are getting married for the second, third time. Obviously, it does happen, you know, and they might want something a little bit smaller, a little bit more intimate. So getting married in a hot air balloon, you know, with just the two of them and a couple of witnesses is just perfect for them. So, you know, it doesn't always have to be about a huge amount of people and a huge expense. It can be something very beautiful and very small, but very special.
And do you have a checklist for, or top tips for our audience that are planning their weddings at the moment?
Yes, I do actually. Some people are quite surprised at how detailed the first meeting with a celebrant is. The first document to complete is a legal document called a Notice of Intended Marriage, known in the business as a NOM. To complete this document, we need 3 points of ID, such as a birth certificate, passport copy, divorce certificate. So I'm giving a gift to your listeners today of your Celebrants Guide, and this has lots of wonderful top tips to be prepared for your first meeting with your celebrant.
That's great.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect.
Yes, and of course I hadn't even thought about that. Of course you need to know who the person is before they get married, and you need their IDs and all that kind of thing, because, you know, I just think of all the fluffy nice stuff and forget that it is a legal thing. And
yeah.
Yes, and I mean, when I meet my couples for the first time, I always like to pop a cork and, you know, help them celebrate from the beginning and all the way through. So it's a nice way to sort of break down the barriers, find out a little bit about them, make sure they're both willing parties to get married.
Good idea.
All very important stuff that people don't always think about. And there are certain procedures that we have to do to fall in line with the Attorney General's office, like giving certain brochures away and talking them through what they would like and what type of ceremony they would like. And so the Celebrants Guide basically makes them trigger ideas of what they need to bring to the party, what they need to bring to their first meeting.
So tell us about the photo that we put up on. I love that photo. So just for people to know, there's a picture of Petra with two beautifully dressed men in their finery, and so tell us all about this.
Oh, well, these are some really lovely people that I've got to know a little bit through their drag shows, and they're all class acts and absolutely beautiful. And so actually I live in the Docklands, and at the Expressionist, which is a local beautiful wine bar and food and restaurant, and they've been having these drag shows recently there, and I was just talking to a couple of them, and that's the picture, and one of them actually mentioned that their partner, that I've triggered an idea now that they're thinking about sort of tying the knot. So, it's really lovely to, I'm very interested and want to do more with the LGBTQIA community, and I like doing things a little bit different, and if people want to dress up and get married, why not?
Oh, exactly.
Sounds like a lot of fun, really.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. And it could be anywhere. It could be on a stage. It could be anywhere. So, I mean, what we've got to remember as celebrants is that the ceremony isn't about us. It's about the people getting married.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so it's all about what they want, where they want, how they want, and creating a beautiful memory for them.
Absolutely. And so with funerals, I mean, I'd imagine it's quite important, just for having gone through it myself actually, to see a qualified celebrant for funerals. Is that right?
Yes, it is actually. An authorised celebrant is very important. Basically because we organise the ceremony from A to Z, and having a certificate for in celebrancy, which I have, we're trained to create not only the happy but the sad ceremonies too, which we can make as flamboyant or as happy or as upbeat or as sombre as anyone would like them to be. But we create prayers if they would like that, or bringing into elements of multicultural rituals as well. Some people want to light candles, some people want to do all sorts of different things to create memories. There's many multicultural and blended families out there that want to bring into a ceremony a little element of their heritage. So that's very important also, to recognise where that person was from and honour them that way.
It can also be at a time, can't it, where people may not be thinking straight.
Yeah.
So it's an opportunity for you to just help people with all these things, thinking about these things and what they do want and how they do want it to be. Because if they haven't thought about it before, or even if they have, they may not be thinking clearly at the time.
I want to know if you've done any fun ones, of any parties, as my mum wanted.
Fun ones, well, I suppose the more fun one was the one on Badara Island, really. That was a friend of mine actually hired the island. It was meant to have been for a happy occasion in the beginning, but it turned out to be a memorial ceremony because her fiancé passed away, sadly, about 10 days before. So I went into action mode and created a beautiful ceremony. But we created a cocktail named after him. We had a beautiful dinner after him. We had frangipanis brought in from the mainland via speedboat. We released beautiful frangipanis into the water afterwards, and she released a reef. And so it was beautiful, but it was very upbeat. And there were lots of gorgeous photos and very upbeat photos. And it was a barefoot ceremony. Things don't always have to be, there can be a slight twist. There can be something that can be very beautiful and very special.
I love it.
Yeah, it is. It is lovely. And the best ceremony I went to, or funeral I went to, was where he was a musician, and everybody got their musical instruments out, and we just had, we had a bit of a talk, but it was mainly people just started getting all their instruments out and started playing. It was fabulous.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it was just wonderful.
Oh, well, my background, I used to sing jazz, so I'm very I'm very pro people getting instruments out and singing and doing whatever they feel.
Yeah. Oh, would you do a singing celebration or ceremony?
I could. I haven't been asked to, but I could. I wouldn't rule that out.
Oh, look, this has been wonderful and really, uplifting at a time when, particularly for the funerals where people can be obviously very sad, but to find ways of uplifting and
supporting.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. So was there anything else that you wanted to share?
Just, if anyone is interested in learning more, I'm PH Celebrants, and we take time to listen and create beautiful ceremonies throughout Australia. My email is info@phcelebrants.com.au, and my website is phcelebrants.com.au, and my Instagram and Facebook. Please do, any of the listeners today, do click on my Facebook and Instagram, PH Celebrants, and I'd love to hear from anybody.
Oh, look, thank you. And I will have to like you.
Pleasure.
Yes. I haven't yet liked you because I've been too busy moving. So that's on my list for today.
I liked her on our behalf.
but I want to like you too.
Thank you, Jo.
You're well, and thank you, Petra.
And we've chosen a song.
Yes.
That we think you'll like it.
Yes.
All my friends are getting married.
Oh, perfect.
So we hope you enjoy that, and thank you, and have a wonderful day.
Oh, and thank you, and you too.
Thank you.
Thanks,
Enjoy your
Petra.
day.
Lovely.
Thank you for having me.
You've been listening to the Two Natural Ladies podcast. Visit twonaturalladies.com.au for more information. Thanks for joining us.